Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Devi Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sai Ram. Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayaka Maharajatiraj Yogiraj Parabrahma Bhakta Pratipalaka Samartha Sadguru Shegon Nivasi Shri Gajanan Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Gajanan Maharaj Vijaya Granth Chapter 10. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. O Lord of the Cosmos, deity of Pandharpur, you are formless and complete in yourself. You are the protector of the virtuous merits. Please don't push me away from your feet. O Narayan, do not disown me nor think of my sins. There are no pious deeds to my credit. As such, I don't deserve to come near you. In spite of all this, please accept and oblige me. Accept me like holy Godavari, which lets in the small tributaries. With that, you will save me. From my grief and all my sins, you are all powerful, and if you wish, you can do anything. Even a pauper becomes rich with your kind blessings. Once, Gajanan Maharaj went to Amaravati to stay with Sri Atmaram Bikaji. Atmaram was Kayasata Prabhu by caste, held an important office in the ranks. He was pious and very devoted, and adored saints to immeasurably. He worshipped the saint, offering him a bath, anointing him with sandalwood paste. He offered the saint a silk bordered dhoti from Umred, applied a saffron dot on his forehead. He was honored with flower wreaths and various dishes, savory and sweet. With cash offering of 100 rupees, this was followed by arati and incense agarbatti. Fragrant flowers were put on his head. All those present wished he was their guest. Though many desired, only few would have the favor, as it requires a lot of pious deeds to one's credit. To get the saint to one's houses to touch his holy feet. The saint understood things with his divine power and visited only those who had intrinsic merit. There was a leading lawyer in Amaravati named Ganesh Sri Krishna Kaparde. He was wealthy, called Dada Saheb of the Shukla Yajurvedi Brahmin Society. Maharaj went to him at his request. He was offered due respect. There was one Ganeshappa, a Lingayatvani, who had a devoted wife named Chandrabai. He told to her husband that somehow the saint should visit their house. She asked Ganeshappa to go and request the saint to come to visit their tenement. She said, if our thoughts are pious, the saint will agree to visit us, because God is always gracious. To devotees, he deems precious. Said Ganeshappa, it's foolish to think so. It requires a lot of recommendation from people of influence to arrange a visit of the saint. Look at the troubles Dada Sahib had to face for taking the saint to his place. In view of this, please don't press the issue further, said Chandrabai. I don't agree with this. My mind says he will come to us. The saints have a special affinity for the poor. Thus go and try once and request him to grace us with his visit valuable. Ganeshappa could not gather courage to put forward his humble request, but Maharaj read his mind and said, I wish to come to your house. Please tell me how far it is from here. You should not hesitate to open your mind and tell me what you want. Come, take me to your place. Ganeshappa's joys knew no bounds. He took Maharaj to his house. They respectfully worshipped him and offered him all their belongings. Much such worship was offered at Amaravati. Present each time was a humble personality. He was the nephew of Atmaram Bikaji, working as telegraph master in Mumbai. Bala Bahu had come on leave to see his maternal uncle Atmaram Bikaji. He felt a great attachment to the saint Sri Gajanan and did not want to leave him for a moment. He thought of mundane attachments as purely transient and decided on renouncing family commitments. These thoughts made him stay with Maharaj, who would reject nectar and take poison. He attended all worship in Amaravati with no other reason behind it. After a few days, the saint returned to the Shegon temple instead of the garden where he was earlier. To the east of the temple was a vacant lot. Maharaj went and occupied the spot. Krishnaji got the news of saint's coming and abandoning the earlier garden setting. He came and prostrated before the saint and sat there with his head bowed. With tears in his eyes, he wondered why the saint didn't return to the garden. Why are you weeping? What's the grief? Asked Maharaj. Tell me quick. Patel, with folded hands, asked Gajanan, why did you not return to the garden? What is my unpardonable offense? I am just a child. Please remove the suspense. You are sitting on a piece of land which belongs to the gardener of the Deshmukh clan. Please don't stay here. If you so wish, come to my house. I will vacate it in a minute. O saint, let me be clear. I will give up everything for you to be there. When Patil brothers knew he came, they arrived with a request that he stays with them. To this, the saint replied, my being here has a purpose implied. You will realize it later on, though. Don't ask me anything now. I assure you that this action will settle the feud between the clans of Patel and Deshmukh. People in authority suffer from confusion. They fail to consider the consequences of their action. Please go and call Bankatlal. When I left his house, he was not disturbed at all. Go and ask him why it was so. My blessings are with you and will continue in the future too. When Bankatlal came, he said, don't take him to your place if he doesn't wish to go. I did not obstruct him a bit when he left my place. We are his children. He loves us with the same generous grace always. Sakaram Asolkar, the owner of the plot, is very generous at heart. He won't hesitate to give the land to Maharaj. Once this is done, our future plan will enable all of us to come together. Thus, there was a compromise. A monastery was soon built with Parasharam, Saoji, relentless efforts. Sri Maharaj had four men of reverence, persons with deep devotion, Bhaskar, Balabahu, Pitambar, and Ganeshappa of Amaravati. Later on, Ramachandra Guru joined them with heart to make them five like Pandav of Mahabharat, with Sri Gajanan Maharaj as God, Sri Hari amidst the pious lot. Balabahu felt completely resigned from the routine of this worldly life. He did not care for his service. Letters from home asking him to come back could not get him back on the track. Bhaskar then said to the saint, Balabahu does not go because of the sweets he gets. I think of good thrashing will show him this place. A monkey can be controlled only with a cane. Big mountains are scared of thunderbolt and rain. Balabahu was driven out against his wish, but he came back after resigning from service. Bhaskar thrashed him and said bluntly, stop bothering us thus frequently. Why do you visit us here like a stubborn bull going to green pastures? Only those who have renounced worldly pleasures enjoy the privilege of being with the seer. Maharaj was not happy at this egoistic talk. To bring back Bhaskar to right thinking, he grabbed the umbrella of someone on visit and started thrashing Balabahu with it. When it broke down, he took a cane and started beating Balabahu again. People got frightened and started running away. Balabahu lay unconscious during his fray. With that beating, many thought he was dead. Bhaskar got worried but said nothing to the saint. Soon the cane too broke into bits. Maharaj started trampling him with his feet, as does a potter on mud in the pit. During this time, someone called Krishnaji and Bankat. They came running to the site. They could not save Balabahu from his plight. Bankatlal then gathered some courage and requested Maharaj to curb his rage. Please spare him, O saint. He is your devotee. You have thrashed him a lot. He deserves mercy. At this, the saint smiled and said with no regret,